Hello. Just so everyone is aware of how sus the whole Federal Reserve Act truly was in 1913. I'm going to go back to the Providence, Rhode Island newspaper on the following day. So, December 24th. Isn't that interesting? That they signed it into law on the 23rd. That was a Tuesday, so this would be Wednesday. Here it is. Now, the thing is signed into law. Everybody's aware of the Jekyll Island meeting, how long this thing took to play out. Working out details of new financial system. Okay, Secretaries McAdoo and Houston will be organization committee to determine the preliminary moves. Question as yet whether there will be 8 or 12 districts, and after this is decided, the cities in each district will then be selected. They're just flying by the seat of their pants, aren't they? Washington, D.C. With all the power of a new law from the pen of President Wilson behind them, Secretaries McAdoo and Secretary Houston today began working out details of the nation's new financial system. Yeah, right. Sure. The two cabinet members acting as an organization committee will determine the preliminary moves to the actual installation of the machinery that is to new financial system. Okay? Good English. Although the law provides that the two secretaries shall join with the comptroller of the currency in the preliminary of reorganization, the office of comptroller is vacant, and it has been decided that the two secretaries constituting a majority of the committee may go ahead later. The members of the Federal Reserve Board of 7 will be named by President Wilson. Excuse me? This is how it was presented to the people the following day, after the thing had already been signed into law. I'm starting to get upset. I mean, this is just broad stroke false lies. So let me go back to this. Will be named by President Wilson. The Secretary of the Treasury and the new comptroller will be chosen from private life. It is President Wilson's desire to make his selection for those 5 places. The organization committee is empowered to employ counsel and summon witnesses and papers to go deeply into the location of the reservoirs, cities that can hardly be kept of a tentative list would include New York, Chicago, St. Louis, San Francisco, New Orleans, with Denver, Atlanta, Seattle, or Portland near the top, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Boston, several other cities asking for designation. Where's Cleveland? The organization committee is empowered to prescribe regulation for membership in the system. Applications from all over the United States have been flying into the Treasury for several days. An unusual flood, however. The committee will be the promulgation of rules for their acceptance. National banks have 60 days in which to file applications, but under the law can remain in existence for 1 year without joining the system. So they just sprung this on people. Obviously made it sound like it was still all just in the works. No, it was signed into law the day before. This just makes it sound like they're just flying by the seat of their pants until you get to this part where the other banks either conform or die. Secretary McAdoo said he expected to actually begin formal work on selecting Federal Reserve cities tomorrow. We expect to consider the problem in the light of what will most benefit the entire country, and local interests will not be regarded. See, they want to make it sound like it's a big deal. They just glossed over the lies about the selection of the board, like the law wasn't written by the board. It's so misleading. This is against the law. This is against the law. It's got to be somehow, right? They wouldn't have done it if it was. Commercial and industrial leaders and professional men of prominence in all parts of the country had many opinions to express. That is loaded to the gills. Many of the telegrams declared President Wilson's speech last night to have vitalized. Vital. So it vitalized. So it criticalized? Or could vitalized be something like maybe sensationalized? He had to do some kind of salacious pushing of this because the thing was already created and it was already written. It had been in the works. We all know this already. We all know this. There's a big disconnect here, though. There's a big disconnect here on exactly how this was all communicated. And I, for one, find it to be treason. Yeah, a currency measure where you're either in or you're out. So 3 or more telegrams declared President Wilson's speech last night as vitalized the currency measure and commended his characterization of the attitude. Wow. This was written by a true politician. This is some seriously good doublespeak here. This is very commendable doublespeak. I'm just going to go back because I love it. I love it. I don't care what you like. I love this. I think this is awesome. Many of the telegrams, that's 3 or more, declared President Wilson's speech last night has vitalized the currency measure and commended his characterization of the attitude of industrial leaders towards the day of concession and accommodation between business and the government as a constitution of peace. So he's saying, slow your roll now. Get up. Come on now. You see this on? I got this on and I'm rolling. I'm going to push your shit back. Come on now, nigga. You got this on now. You're going to see this grill. I'm going to blah, blah. You're going to take it now. It's going to be constitution of peace. Don't push me now. Said I'll sick up your down. Take it out. So that's what he told the business leaders. He said, slow your roll. We already signed this thing. It's been in the works for a decade or more. We've been trying to do it since 1776. So we're getting it done. If you want to go to war, I would consider a constitution of peace. You're either in or you're out. Zero sum, buddy. We're in a systems paradigm. And that's how it goes. This is treason. absolute and utter treason.